Hello! Today, we will find the roots of the following quadratic equations. For our first problem, we have x squared minus 5x plus 25 equals 0. In our first problem, we will use the quadratic formula. Now, we have to get the values of a, b, and c. The value of a is 1. The value of b is negative 5. The value of c is 25. And for our next step, let us use the pattern b squared minus 4ac. b squared is equals to negative 5 squared minus 4. A is equals to 1 and c is equals to 25. And now we will do the quadratic formula. But first, let us know what the formula is. Our formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Now let us apply the formula to our problem. X is equals to negative 5 plus or minus the square root of negative 75 over all divided by 2 times 1. Negative 75 is our answer when we subtract 25 to negative 100. Now our final answer is x equals to positive 5 plus or minus the square root of negative 75 over all divided by 2. The opposite of negative 5 is positive 5. And since we cannot take the square root of negative 75, we will just leave it like that. And now for our next problem, we have x squared minus x minus 3 equals to 0. Again, first we need to take all the values of a, b, and c. A is equals to 1, b is equals to negative 1, c is equals to negative 3. And now let us use our pattern b squared minus 4ac. b squared is equals to negative 1 squared minus 4, a is equals to 1, and c is equals to negative 3. Let us multiply. Negative 1 times negative 1 is equals to positive 1. And negative 4 times 1 is equals to negative 4 times negative 3 is equals to positive 12. Now let us add 1 to 12. 1 plus 12 is equals to 13. And after that, we will use the quadratic formula. So, x equals negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 13 over all divided by 2 times 1. Next, we will just take the opposite of negative 1, which is positive 1. And since we also cannot take the square root of 13, we will just leave it like that. So therefore, our final answer is x equals 1 plus or minus the square root of 13 over all divided by 2. For our next problem, we have x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 0. For our next problem, we have x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 0. First, we will get the factors of 1, which is negative 1 and negative 1, to get negative 2. After that, we will separate the x squared along with negative 1 and negative 1. So it will become x minus 1 and x minus 1. If we want to check if our answer is correct, let us use the FOIL method. So, x times x is equals to x squared. X times negative 1 is negative 1x. Negative 1 times x is equals to negative 1x. Negative 1 times negative 1 is equals to positive 1. So it will become x squared minus 1x minus 1x plus 1. Now let us add negative 1 and negative 1. So it will become x squared minus 2x plus 1. Our answer is the same as our problem. Now we will apply the ZPP method or the zero product property. X minus 1 equals 0 will become x equals positive 1. So, the roots are positive 1 and positive 1. Or in short, the answer is x equals positive 1. And now for our other problem, we have x squared minus 8x plus 2 equals 0. Let us take the value of a, which is 1, the value of b, which is negative 8, the value of c, which is 2. And after that, we will use again our pattern. B squared minus 4ac is equals to negative 8 squared minus 4 times 1 times 2. Negative 8 times negative 8 is equals to positive 64. And negative 4 times 1 is equals to negative 4 times 2 is equals to negative 8. 64 minus 8 is equals to 56. And after that, we will use again the quadratic formula. Again, the formula for the quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over all divided by 2a. And it will become x equals negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 56 and overall divided by 2. And our final answer will be x equals positive 8, the opposite of negative 8, plus or minus the square root of 56 overall divided by 2. We also cannot take the square root of 56, so we will just leave it like that. And now for our last problem, we have x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. First, take the value of a, b, and c. A is 1, b is negative 5, and c is 6. For the pattern, b squared minus 4ac is equals to negative 5 squared minus 4 times 1 and times 6. Negative 5 times negative 5 is equals to positive 25, and negative 4 times 1 is equals to negative 4 times 6 is equals to negative 24. Now we will subtract 25 to negative 24. 25 minus 24 is equals to 1. So, if we apply the quadratic formula, that will be x equals negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 1 over all divided by 2 times 1. And after that, our answer will be x equals positive 5 plus or minus the square root of 1 over all divided by 2. But the square root of 1 is also 1. So we have to add and subtract it to positive 5. So, x equals 5 plus 1 over 2 is equals to 6. And then x, 5 minus 1 over 2 is equals to 4. So, that is our answer. That is all. Thank you for listening.